Then the rainstorm came over me. And I felt my spirit break. I had lost all of my belief, you see, and realized my mistake. But time threw a prayer to me, and all around me became still. I need love, love's divine. Please forgive me, now I see that I've been blind. Give me love, love is what I need to help me know my name. Through the rainstorm came sanctuary. And I felt my spirit fly. I had found all of my reality. I realized what it takes. 'Cause I need love, love's divine. Please forgive me, now I see that I've been blind. Give me love, love is what I need to help me know my name. Oh, I don't bend, don't break. Show me how to live and promise me you won't forsake. 'Cause love can help me know my name.
Good afternoon, everybody. Phoenix Girl here. And it's a lovely Saturday afternoon. So, yeah. Just found out some pretty interesting news within the last couple of days. And, alright, let me see. Right. Let me see. Okay. Alright, just give me a minute. Okay, so just give me a minute. Okay. Let's see. There you go. Alright, good. So, actually, yeah, so basically, Ryan O'Neal died yesterday. I think it was yesterday. So, yeah. Oh yeah! Norman Lear also died too. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah, so the guy was basically 101 years old. He lived a pretty long life, so yeah. There we are.
Died. He had a run of unforgettable roles in the 1970s, even when his daughter was stealing the scene. Tonight, O'Neal's career, his longtime love, Farrah Fawcett, and the tributes already pouring in. Actor Ryan O'Neal first catapulted to fame and captivated audiences in the movies in the 1970s. His first big break, though, came before in the TV soap opera Peyton Place in 1964, side by side with Mia Farrow.
Service with a smile, drive you straight to the door.
Oh wait, you know what would be a better idea? If maybe we could watch this shit on YouTube. Alright. Just give me a minute. Alright, maybe here?
You'll never guess what we're doing to the Baconator. We're putting it...
pretzel bun on the Baconator. Catherine, you seeing this?
Posters everywhere.
What?
The Baconator you love with a new pretzel twist. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new pretzel Baconator.
We're going to turn now to the passing of a legendary actor, Oscar nominee Ryan O'Neal, one of Hollywood's leading men for decades, appearing in films like Love Story, Paper Moon, and What's Up, Doc. ABC's Chris Connolly is here in our studio to take a look at his life and legacy. Good morning to you, Chris.
Hey, good morning to you, Gio. Yes, a handsome heartthrob on this 1960s television, a leading man in films of the 70s and 80s. Ryan O'Neal knew great success as an actor, even as his often turbulent personal life attracted public attention of a different kind.
Taxi lady!
Ryan O'Neal leapt to fame on the ABC drama Peyton Place, alongside Mia Farrow.
I was a little shook up last night, Alice. I wouldn't blame you if you just said forget it.
It opened the door to the movies. There, the former boxer's rugged good looks and charisma earned immediate attention. For many, his on-screen pinnacle would come in 1970, with his starring role in Love Story, opposite Ally McGraw.
I give you my hand. I give you my love, more precious than money.
He'd star in director Peter Bogdanovich's screwball comedy What's Up, Doc, opposite Barbra Streisand.
Oh, God, I've forgotten the point.
And 1973's Paper Moon, when he'd star with his daughter, Tatum O'Neal. She'd be an absolute sensation as grifter in training Addie Prey.
And she wrote "Happy Birthday, Addie" on the end of it. You just go look and see.
At 10 years of age, Tatum would be nominated for a Best Supporting Actress Oscar. And
All I really want to thank is my director, Peter Bogdanovich, and my father. Thank you.
2001: A Space Odyssey's director
Aw, she was adorable.
Stanley Kubrick would cast O'Neill in the glowing by candlelight Barry Lyndon with Marissa Berenson.
Sir, let those laugh that win.
By then, O'Neill's own intimate life and misadventures had made him a tabloid fixture. His rages and emotional volatility would color several of his well-chronicled relationships. In her memoir, Angelica Houston would describe O'Neill grabbing her hair and hitting her in the forehead. With some of his children, there would be conflicts and periods of estrangement. But overnight, his son Patrick O'Neill recalling the father he loved.
I just wanted to share.
Jeez, that's not good. Oh boy, that's not good.
What a special man my dad is. And I think sometimes that is lost when they hear things about Ryan O'Neill. He was the greatest father that I could have ever asked for. I just love the man so much. I really do. And it's a big loss for me.
In the 80s, Ryan O'Neill's romance with Farrah Fawcett would grab headlines. Together, they had a son, Redmond. After a 1997 breakup, they'd reunite in 2001 as O'Neill battled leukemia. Then, just as his character had done on screen in Love Story, he'd be by his loved one's side as Farrah faced the ravages of cancer.
Oh wow. Oh yeah, last I heard, Redmond he went to jail on like drug-related charges if I remember correctly. So yeah. This guy had a pretty complicated life. Like, there was a lot of drama with his kids and his relationships and all that shit. Fucking crazy.
I'm very happy going to her house every day if she's awake or not, or tending to her, and that's my life. I'm not interested in anything but seeing to her comfort.
Her saga and theirs, chronicled by Barbara Walters in a 2009 ABC News special.
She was everybody's love, wasn't she?
In the same hospital room where she passed away 14 years ago, Ryan O'Neill died Friday at the age of 82.
What in the hell? Really? Oh my god, that's freaky.
Patrick O'Neill calling Farrah Fawcett the love of his father's life. And on social media, Mia Farrow recalling her co-star from the 1960s, saying simply, "Rest in peace, dear Ryan."
Wow. Same hospital.
Yeah.
Room. Yeah, just amazing.
Got chills.
Absolutely. And Chris, so good to have you in here from LA. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Well, hey there.
Yeah, no that shit. Actually, there was this lady that actually died like a couple days ago. Her name is Andrea Friedman, and she had Down syndrome. Apparently, she died from like complications of Alzheimer's, and from what I've read, apparently it's pretty common for people with Down syndrome to end up developing early onset Alzheimer's, which is really sad. So, let's see if I let's see if I could find something. See, oh yeah.
Are you good? No, I think I'm late on my car insurance. Good thing the general gives you a break when you need it.
So what are your parents?
Oh yeah, so basically she was actually... So basically, Andrea Friedman, she not only appeared on a very early episode on her SVU from like season 3, and she was also on this show in the 90s called Life Goes On, where she was like one half of a couple with Down syndrome, and she was actually she also in Family Guy she voiced a character with Down syndrome that Chris ended up going on a date with. And it's interesting because Sarah Palin, who was the... Actually, she was the governor of Alaska, but I don't think she was governor at that point. So basically, Sarah Palin, she finds out about it. She gets really pissed because she thought it was like offensive and stuff. Especially because she had like, I think like a grandson named Trip, or a son, either like a son or grandson that had like Down syndrome. And it was really ridiculous, like, seriously, utterly ridiculous. You know.
The brouhaha over the Down syndrome character on Fox's show Family Guy that drew the ire of Sarah Palin just got kicked up a notch. Turns out the actress who portrayed the Down syndrome character...
So what do your parents do?
That's better. My dad's an accountant, and my mom is the former governor of Alaska.
...actually has Down syndrome in real life. And
oh, yeah. Yeah, so basically, there was this joke about her mom being the former governor of Alaska, and yeah, that's what really pissed her off. I mean, it's been years since this incident happened, so I'm liable to forget a few details, but again, it's really dumb. Like... It's really, really, really dumb.
And she's hitting back at Palin's repeated condemnation of the episode. In an email to the New York Times, 39-year-old Andrea Friedman writes, I guess former Governor Palin does not have a sense of humor. Friedman says she thought the episode was very funny. And she notes she was making fun of Sarah Palin, not her son Trig, who has Down syndrome.
Okay, it was her son. I was remembering correctly. Okay. Because I was almost certain it was her son, but I wasn't entirely sure. Like, the joke was about Sarah Palin. It was not about her fucking kid. Like, seriously. You know, it's so amazing that all these years later... Like, Republicans still, they get outraged over the stupidest shit. And it's amazing that in like nearly 2 decades later, this has not changed, like, at all. This really hasn't changed.
Friedman says in her family, laughing is good, and that her parents raised her to have a sense of humor and to live a normal life. Palin lashed out at the episode on her Facebook page, writing, "It felt like another kick in the gut." Her daughter Bristol also chimed in, calling the show's writers heartless jerks. Myra Lopez, The Associated Press.
You know, she was right. She really has no sense of humor. Like, holy shit. Seriously. She really has no sense of... She really had no sense of humor, basically. So yeah, it's funny because I actually do remember watching that episode of Law & Order SVU. Like years and years ago. And I actually found out about this lady, Andrea Friedman's death, through like Reddit. Like, somebody on Law & Order SVU subreddit made a post about her, and I was shocked that she passed away. Especially at such a young age. It's pretty sad, to be honest. Let's see. Huh.
Hey there, family, while you're shopping, get me a 5G phone, it's on my list.
Instead of doing all of this, better plan is to switch to Verizon.
This holiday, turn any Google phone in any condition into a Pixel 8 Pro on us. And now add Netflix and Max to your plan for just $10 a month, only on Verizon.
Now to breaking news for our viewers in the West. We're celebrating the life of TV legend Norman Lear, who's passed away at 101 years old. The Barrier Breaker most recently brought the last of the reenactment of some of his most iconic television shows to the stage with Jimmy Kimmel in live.
Oh, was that during, like, was that when they did, like, a live production thing of, like, oh shit, what was it, like, the Jeffersons are all in the family or something? I don't remember.
Live in front of a studio audience. Chris Connolly has more on his life and his legacy. Good morning, Chris.
And good morning, George.
Oh shit, it was the Facts of Life.
A figure of nearly unparalleled importance in the history of television. Norman Lear brought unforgettable comedy and characters, hot-button issues, and heart to the landmark TV series he created and produced. In doing so, he changed the course of popular culture in America. A monumental force in the history of American television, Norman Lear was the man behind some of America's most iconic TV shows, producing, writing, creating for decades.
Had as good a time in this business as anybody has ever had in any business ever in the history of humanity.
Lear was credited with breaking barriers by exploring controversial social issues like race, civil rights, and the Vietnam War on TV sitcoms from the 1970s onward.
When we introduced Americans to the Bunkers and the Jeffersons, people weren't used to TV shows dealing with issues like racism and sexism. But we thought humor was a way into people's hearts.
Particularly with All in the Family's main character, Archie Bunker, loved and despised for his crass, blunt dialogue.
Let me tell you something, Mr. Stivic. You are a meathead.
Lear would go on to produce revolutionary sitcoms like Mom.
Yeah, there's no way a character like Archie Bunker would exist today. No freaking way. My god, look at the career this guy had. So many good shows, like, holy shit. He had a pretty good life. All things considered, he had a pretty good life. You know what, it's sad. We're supposed to be in an era that's, like, so progressive and, you know, liberal, and it feels like we're basically going backwards. I feel like I feel like we're basically going backwards. It's just sad. Okay. Actually, You know what? There was something I wanted to do today.
So I watched Turning Red recently, the latest Pixar film.
Alright, so this is the Mysterious Mr. Enter's review of Turning Red. And I have some words about that because I've actually seen the movie. This is gonna be very interesting.
So I watched Turning Red recently, the latest Pixar film. What took me so long to see this one? Well, I was actually avoiding it for a couple of reasons. Most notably, the trailer. Like, I think that even people who like this movie will agree that the trailer is really, really bad. Personally, it showed me that everything I didn't like in a movie would be in this one, with a super in-your-face attitude. And it didn't really make any arguments of how a transformation into a red panda could actually carry a movie. It seemed like an incredibly light, simple premise. And the other reason that I didn't want to watch Turning Red at first was because if I did, I knew I'd have to talk about it. And if I knew I had anything other than super glowing praise for it, we were going to have another Turtles situation. So I watched the film, and I have something other than super glowing praise for it. And now I'm going to talk about it. With the chaos and the drama this movie has caused, it's really tempting to just go one way or the other. Praise it for being shocking and daring and tackling new ground, or to go in the other direction and absolutely eviscerate the film. It's really cementing itself with the Ghostbusters effect. It's not a movie, it's a political argument.
Really? Really, Mr. Enter? Really? Oh boy. I mean, if you don't like the movie, who in the hell cares? Personally, I think this is actually a really good movie. This is one of Disney's better movies that have come out within the last couple years. And I'm pretty sure it's still a hell of a lot better than Wish. Let's put it that way.
Like Thundercats Roar, High Guardian Spice, or Masters of the Universe Revelation before it, or She-Ra, or I can keep going on. These arguments are largely
actually like She-Ra. So piss off.
annoying, and they shouldn't be engaged in on any side of the argument, whether you're a defender or a detractor. If you're a detractor, it elevates the status of the movie and gives it more importance than it really deserves. If you're a defender, you obscure the actual merits of the movie and turn it into a target, which actually does hurt the artists in the long run, and hurts the actual political headway of whatever movement you're arguing for even more. Oh, that's not even mentioning that you're playing pawns to billion-dollar corporations that have packaged your personal values and have sold them back to you. Turning Red is a mixed bag. Actually, I don't even know if that's the best way to describe it. It is the Pixar film that I am the most mixed on. There are Pixar films that I absolutely love, like Soul, WALL-E, or Ratatouille. There are Pixar films I don't like Cars 2. And then there are Pixar films I don't care about, like A Bug's Life or the first Cars. Turning Red is a film I'd probably...
How could you not like A Bug's Life? A Bug's Life is awesome. My God, this man is cynical. And I don't use that word lightly, like, my God. Like, you can hear in his voice, he's so damn cynical. Jeez, dude.
Probably like if it wasn't for some glaring problems that took me right out of the experience time and again. So Turning Red stars an Asian Canadian girl named Miley, growing up in Toronto in 2002, where one night she learns that she becomes a giant red panda whenever she feels any particularly strong emotions. This is complicated by the fact that she has an overbearing mother, is going through middle school, and puberty. It's a fairly simple movie despite all the drama, and yet there's a ton to talk about. I'm going to start with what held me back from actually enjoying the movie, and that is May's mother, Ming. I'm going to be dead straight with you. I hated this character so much that I thought I would have to stop watching the movie. Ming is a helicopter parent, the type who controls every little thing about their child's life, and are super panicked that a...
I mean, I get it. Yes, she's annoying as hell. And this character did get on my nerves when I was watching the movie, but there's a reason for that. there's a reason why she's a massive pain in the ass. There's a reason for that. And it's mainly because, you know, that's how it is in Chinese culture. That you basically had to act a certain way. You had to maintain a certain status quo. You know. You had to be like poised and dignified. And be obedient to your elders and honor them. You know, it's a very specific culture which, you know, this movie touches on quite a bit.
A slight deviation from their plan will harm their child, so they create this self-fulfilling prophecy, where they hurt their child so much more than the rest of the world could. Every time that Ming was on screen, I was angry. The two most infamous bits you've probably heard of, when she finds drawings of May's crush and drives her down to the store to show the boy in them what May did. And the other time is when she came down to school unprompted to try and give May menstrual pads without any self-awareness that she was doing it in front of her whole class. There's also a third moment that really struck me, and that's when May goes to Tyler's party, and Ming was so blind to any possible reasons that May might rebel, especially after the first two incidents, that she basically stops May from seeing her friends. Every time Ming was on screen, this was some of the most uncomfortable a Disney Pixar film has ever made me feel. And need I remind you that this is a film about puberty, in which the problem is solved with twerking. So, defenders will rush and say that this
no, you're basically oversimplifying it. Basically, what Maylene had to learn was how to communicate with her mother effectively by being open and honest with her, and Ming had to learn how to emphasize with her daughter and try to understand where she was coming from. That's basically one of the main themes of the whole movie. I mean, yeah, the whole dancing thing was a little silly, but you know, that's Disney. Oh god.
behavior is accurate, especially in Asian communities. And there's a kernel of truth to the kernel of truth here. Asian communities are definitely at least stereotypically strict in upbringing. So, pardon my ignorance. Is it realistic to take a child's drawing of a crush, drag her down to a convenience store, and confront the person in said drawing in a store full of people? Especially if you were under the delusion that these things actually happened, despite one of the drawings.
Yeah, unfortunately, there are some parents that do act like that. They basically act like total morons in public by basically losing their shit in front of their kids, and you know, it happens. It does happen.
Being the boy as a merman. Is it really realistic to try and directly give menstrual pads to someone and not leave them with a nurse at school? Ming's behavior is too over the top. Actually, no, it's not. That's actually the problem. The problem is that it's realistic. It's something that could feasibly happen if you were one of the worst, most brain-dead people on Earth.
Gee, maybe that's what the people behind this movie wanted you to feel. They wanted you to feel those emotions. They want you to process them and deal with them in a healthy, conducive manner. Is that really too much to ask here?
It's not like, say, Doofenshmirtz, who also had a hard upbringing. So hard that neither of his parents showed up for his actual birth.
What in the hell does Doofenshmirtz have to do with anything? You're getting really off topic, my guy. Really off topic.
If you want to talk about realism, we need to talk about Encanto. This was a Disney film also about generational trauma, which seems to be the theme of the season. Mirabel's grandmother was guilty of pretty much the same things, being overly controlling, trying to keep her family in the perfect boxes that she imagined for them. Of course, Encanto didn't make me want to smash my computer because it was subtle. You could constantly understand the reasons that Alma was doing the things that she was doing, even if you didn't agree with them. And in the end, you want to see Alma get better, not have her taken away in the back of a police car. This is like trying to
record, I actually do like Encanto, and I think it's a really good movie. And I think Disney should try to do more movies like Turning Red and Encanto.
Redeem Doofenshmirtz's parents and doing it in a realistic way and have it all heartfelt at the end. This is not a combination that works. The anime style also feels off due to the time period. While anime did exist in the West, obviously, besides Sailor Moon or Dragon Ball, Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh!, it was pretty niche until like 2005. Then we started getting tricklings of
not really. Toonami aired a bunch of animes during that time period in the early 2000s. Like, I remember watching like Outlaw Star, Dragon Ball Z, and even Sailor Moon back when I was a kid.
things like Zatch Bell, One Piece, and so on. I mean, anime definitely was there, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't the styling of the time. Speaking of which, by 2002, boy bands were on the way out. That is literally the year that Justin Timberlake went solo, effectively ending the craze for a decade. 2002 wasn't a very in-your-face time either. It was quiet. It was grungy. Linkin Park was one of the biggest bands in the world. Everyone was emotional and full of angst. Like, there's one guy in the school who has this emo look, and yeah, that is 2002, right there. The whole movie should look like that. And that's partially because there's an elephant in the room that...
I don't know. Maybe because this movie is based on the writer's experiences of her childhood during that specific time period. Maybe that's why it's so, like, in your face and bright and colorful and all that shit. I don't know, maybe this movie's not for you, dude. Like, seriously, like, are we even watching the same movie? Because I kind of feel like we're not watching the same movie. Also, boy bands were not on their way out. Well, not necessarily. I mean, you had like Aaron Carter that was very popular during that time. And then there was Ricky Martin too. And then there was NSYNC, Backstreet Boys. And also, there was like early R&B too. Like, Aaliyah. And, I mean, I was pretty young during this time period, so I don't really remember specifically what it was like. But I don't know. I mean, I kind of feel like Mr. Enter's like projecting his own feelings into this movie. And I don't know. I mean, Turning Red's basically supposed to be on the experiences of the lady that made this movie. You know, it's very specific. Like, shit.
You do have to realize if you want to say, golly geez, let's set this film in 2002 for no reason. This film takes place less than a year after the September 11th terrorist attacks. I bring this up because it radically altered the culture of the time, in ways that make this...
Yes! It did! But the movie takes place in Canada! Canada had nothing to do with 9/11. Why the hell do you have to bring up 9/11 when the story takes place in an entirely different country? Like, maybe if it took place in, like, I don't know, one of the United States, especially in New York, I could probably maybe understand that take, but it just doesn't make any sense. There's no reason to bring up 9/11 in this story, cause it doesn't make any sense when it comes to narrative. It just doesn't make any narrative sense, like, at all. There's no reason for it. And I actually remember watching the towers fall on live TV when I was like 8. So I still remember that all those years later, and oh god, this is so stupid.
This movie feel exceptionally ignorant of the time, even though literally the only reason I can comprehend that this movie is set explicitly in 2002 is because the director grew up in that exact year. Yes, this film takes place in Canada, not the United States, but all over the Western world. Canada, America, the UK, much of Europe. People were paranoid because 9/11 wasn't the only terror attack that had happened. It was the major theme of the decade. I mean, I can understand not wanting everyone to be so fearful, as that goes against the tone that the movie is trying to establish. But then you have very awkward moments if you actually were there and you do actually remember the time period. Like, the moment with Ming, this strange adult standing outside of the school with a box. An adult that no one wants to account for, completely trying to obscure her appearance and getting attention of the kids in the school. In real world 2002, she wouldn't just be confronted by the school security guard, she would be tackled by the police and hauled in. Like, here's the thing. If they picked 1999 or 2000 or literally any year that was not 2002, this movie's setting would make a lot more sense. 1999, I could buy the in-your-face attitude, the boy band stuff. That was an optimistic year, despite everything else going on at the time. And on top of that, the movie doesn't get anything at all by setting itself in 2002. The boy band Four Town could have been replaced with any other musical act. The lack of cell phones and surveillance technology doesn't matter because May was caught on the news, and being hidden really isn't a goal in this film. I mean, I wouldn't set it in 2022, obviously, but taking place in just a vague, unspecified time, like any other Disney Pixar film, would have done this one so much favor. Take away Ming, and you take away the setting, and what's left with the film? You have a nice little story about a girl having something.
Good grief. Like, my god. Like, first of all, the security guard knew who Maylene's mom was, so he had no reason to go after her. And he actually did try to stop her from coming into the school, and there's actually like a whole running gag throughout the movie, you know, where, you know, the mom, she keeps on trying to sneak into the school, and the security guard guy has to stop her. Holy shit. Yeah, I think we're done here. Oh god. Alright, so why don't we just pick up right where we left off with Copa's legacy? Clairvoyance. So yeah, let me see. Oh shit. Okay. 46 minutes. Alright, we got a little bit more time. Alright, it's fine. Y284/first moon, day 30, present day. The sound clattering rocks echoed throughout the desolate gorge, near still if not for the frantic paws digging through the countless piles of rubble and dust. Although they were making far more noise than Jahara would have preferred, he resisted the urge to order everyone to quiet down. With no way where excuse me. With no way of knowing whether their presence had been noticed, and more importantly reported, the only certainty was the increase of risk the longer they were here. With an irritated growl, Jahara swatted a growing dust cloud away from his face, only to have it swirl in every direction, including to his mane and fur. He strolled through the half-score lions, who arrived at the gorge just after nightfall, staggering a little unevenly due to injuries he had sustained in the rock slide. Pick up the pace, he barked. The inside of his mouth was already dry and coarse from the dust. Simba could be on his way right now. Seeing that Sajin and his team were having some problems with a particularly well-buried boulder, Jahara hobbled his way over in a flash. Fighting to maintain his own flagging strength, he planted one shoulder against the rock and shoved in unison with the other, sending it tumbling free with a dull crash. A limp foreleg flopped out from the opening, and without hesitation, Kiza grabbed it. He let go almost immediately. No pulse. Leave it, Jahara ordered. Prioritize the ones that can be saved. Without question, Sajin's team hurried to the nearest pile of rubble and promptly redoubled their efforts. Jahara stepped around and moved on, nose and ears holding intently for himself. Sorry. Jahara stepped around them and moved on, nose and ears honed intently for any sound or scent of a potential survivor. A muffled moan came from his left, and he turned to see a battered figure reaching through the hole excavated by Weevu and Masao. He recognized her as Sokka, the last remaining member of his original team, and rushed forward to grasp her by the front paws. Gritting his teeth, Jahara pulled as hard as he could while the other strained to hold the opening in place. As he dragged Sokka out, the scent caught his nostrils even before he spotted a blood trail dripping from one of her hind legs. And it was then that he saw that her foot paw was missing. Keep digging, Masao, Jahara grunted, setting Sokka down with the utmost care. Weevu stabilized her. Weevu gave a shaky breath as she took in Sokka's injury. I don't think I can save her, she fretted. I didn't ask for your opinion, Jahara growled. You'll go back to digging if she dies and not a moment before. He darted away without waiting. Sorry. He darted away without waiting for a response, nearly losing his balance when the rock shifted unexpectedly beneath his paws. The burly lion managed to right himself by bracing his weight against a tall stack of rubble, sending another shower of stones flying away in the process. It's no good. How are we even supposed to know where to dig? If there was any sign of light coming out of those rocks, there isn't anymore. The commotion gradually settled around Jahara, and as his vision cleared dust once more, he caught the sound of a rabbit digging near the edge of the gorge. His sharp eyes soon caught the umbral form of Kavuli scrabbling into the very end of the rockfall they were wading in. He hopped his way over to her, careful not to disturb the rubble any more than he had already done. What are you doing? He asked calmly. The others are turning up lions over there. She won't be there, Kavuli intoned with the utmost conviction. She did not look up or slow her efforts in the slightest. She made it farther than we did. I saw it. Jahara took a moment to draw in the cleaner air, hoping it would clear his other faculties as well. Take it easy, he reminded, sidestepping a spray of rock she had knocked loose. We barely made it out alive the first time. Well, she hasn't. With those three words, Kavuli clawed and tore at the rubble even more ferociously, as if trying to wrest death itself from the stones. You'll be no help to Janga if you keel over. were both in bad shape, ignoring that will turn you into liability. At this, the grateful Linus finally let up, panting heavily for several moments. Upon regaining her breath, she peered up and gave Jahara an irate look. I'm open to suggestions since you've clearly put so much thought into this. Then why don't you start by telling me how long he's been here? Jahara jerked his head past Kivuli to the unmistakable form of Fuju, who was sitting prone beside the cliff wall with his eyes closed. She followed Jahara's gaze. He might have been there when I started digging. I can't be sure. She craned her neck, frowned when she saw that Fuju did not react or appear to notice them. What is he doing? Kicking aside a few stray pieces of stone, Jahara strode through with a black-maned lion. Scowling impatiently, save whatever wily scheme you've concocted this time. If you're not here to help, then make yourself scarce or... Fuju opened his eyes blankly and pointed over Jahara's shoulder. She's under there, about 9 paces from me in that direction. Well, perhaps 8 paces for you, Jahara. Without hesitation, Kivuli bolted straight for the indicated spot. Jahara fits Fuju with a suspicious look, but quickly bound after Kivuli as well. He gave an authoritative roar, and the other lion stopped and peered about at him. Duraha Vunja, form up on me. Stones and pieces of broken rock flew in every direction as everyone came and joined in the excavation effort. Despite the haphazard nature of their task, Jahara was pleased to see them remain calm, a few lions pairing up with one another to methodically shift the larger boulders aside. Their efforts sent even more dust flying in the air, but no one paid it any mind. Finally, Jahara felt the stones bunch in his paws shift and give way to a narrow crevice. 2 thick pieces of boulder had braced against one another, miraculously stopping the cataclysm above from burying the opening. And nestled inside was a bloodied and unmoving form of Janga. Jahara's breath stopped in his throat, not daring to reach out to see if his friend was alive. Took you long enough, came Janga's voice in a slow rasp. Her head slowly turned to face them, blinking feebly in the moonlight. Must have been too soft on all of you. Kivuli exhaled in relief, and Jahara felt his throat unclench before the two of them expediently hauled Janga out to roll to safety. The Duraha Vunja broke out into smiles and tired cheers, and a few of them hurried to help Kivuli. Place their injured leader on Jahara's back. Janga's breath settled in a slow, even rhythm as she slipped into unconsciousness. Kivuli placed her paw upon her foreleg, checking to make sure there was still a pulse. Hurry, we better get her somewhere safe. Jahara stared back to the depths of the gorge, trying to ignore the frequency with which he had to blink away the dust. She wanted us to keep digging, he murmured. And they want us to save her, Kivuli said pointedly. Now come on, we have to cut her tracks and be gone before sunrise. Looking about, he realized that Fuju was nowhere to be seen. A little farther in, Weevu rose from where she had been crouched. Sokka's lifeless body sprawled at her paws. Weevu gave a slight shake of the head, and Jahara finally turned away from the gorge. Kivuli cleared her throat to get the others' attention. We're leaving Duraha Vunja. As the lions filed out in practice formation, Jahara considered bringing up Fuju's disappearance with Kivuli, but decided against it upon noticing that her usually measured paw steps were pressed and fretful. I doubt she cares about any other than treating Janga right now. We got her out alive. We still have to make sure she stays that way. He pushed aside the thought of what will happen after their predicament. Even if Janka were to survive, none of that matters right now. She'll figure it out, but only if we figure this out first. Jiraiya noticed the direction Kavuli had chosen for him, and right then he knew what refuge she had in mind. The Outlands, we're going to Keeper's old hideout? Is the only safe place close enough, she said firmly, and Simba wouldn't know about it. No, but there are others who might. The Overseer for stars, and she's a hyena. Kavuli grinned and he saw a hint of her unflappable demeanor return in that moment. We broke all the rules to get as far as we have. Why change that now? Alright, so... Hey! Oh, that's the end of chapter 1. Alright. Man. Actually, So, basically, there's this actress, named, Linda Hunt. She won an Oscar almost 40 years ago for, The Year Living Dangerously with Mel Gibson. And he actually appeared in... They actually ended up appearing in Pocahontas together, like, years later, which I think it's so funny. Linda Hunt voiced like this talking tree, and Mel Gibson voiced like John Smith. I don't know, let's see, I guess we could watch this video, maybe? I don't know.
She's hard to see on set sometimes.
Miss Linda, you ready? Yeah.
Lost amid the chaos of a busy day of shooting.
And action.
But once the camera finds Linda Hunt, she nearly always steals the scene.
I need to be with Michelle.
I promise you that we will do everything we can to protect her.
She plays Hetty Lang, the diminutive cloak and dagger boss, who's in charge of the undercover federal agents of NCIS.
Basically... Oh, yeah. She also played the female boss of NCIS LA for, like, many, many years. NCIS LA just ended recently. And it was a pretty good show, although I haven't watched it in years. Oh, shit. I just realized this is like a CBS Sunday morning profile thingy. Oh, interesting. Alright.
Los Angeles.
There's no fuzziness, Gallon. You still shoot the ducks. I just row the boat.
At 67 and just 4 feet 9 inches tall, Hunt spends her days surrounded by actors who are half her age and almost twice her height.
Don't mock me.
I criticize, I scold, I chastise. I've even told someone a new one, but I never mock.
So what's it like being on set with a group of...
Did the guy say she was 4'9"? Holy shit, that's really short.
young...
I know.
Very good-looking / rock star.
They're all so young.
Do you like that?
I do like it. I get a kick out of it.
And that younger set gets a kick out of her, too. In fact, Hunt has taken home the Teen Choice Award for Best Actress in an Action Series the last 2 years in a row.
So this is my hangout.
That's your office?
Yeah, this is my office, Hetty's office.
Her stage is a massive 2-story set at Paramount Studios, where attention is paid to every prop, no matter how small.
This is a plastic cow with a lot of correct anatomical things.
Her sense of humor makes for a playful atmosphere backstage.
Looking in,
It's
always
over your
standing
shoulder.
on the outside looking in. Always.
Story of your life, right?
Yes, it is.
There's even good-natured teasing, especially over the one thing that she has and her co-stars don't: an Academy Award.
They tease me about having won the Oscar.
What is there to tease about winning an Oscar?
Well, you know, that I'm the only one who has it, and would I bring it to work, and, you know. That's great, old man. It's what I've always wanted, a real partnership.
It was this performance that won her that Oscar back in 1984, in the year of living dangerously.
I made you see things. I made you feel something about what you write. I gave you my trust. So did Jill. I created you.
Hunt plays Billy Kwan, a male photojournalist who's hired by a rookie foreign correspondent in Indonesia, played by a very young Mel Gibson. It was only Hunt's second film, but it was a first in movie history. Never before had an actor won an Oscar for playing the opposite sex. She was so convincing as a man, audiences didn't believe the credits.
I can't be a man.
Holy shit, that's insane. Oh my god. And she's so tiny too. Shit. She's my height. That's crazy.
But I can embrace the head of a man, the intelligence of a man, the spirit of a man.
Did you ever feel you'd get lost in him, that character?
Yeah. And it was like that for a while. I'd come back to my beautiful room, and a guy would bring me dinner and refer to me as sir.
As sir.
It was upsetting, and it was weird not to be able to turn it off, not to be able to come home at night and just be Linda.
Her transformation not only won the Oscar, but it was a relief to Hunt's parents, who always worried about her life on the stage, especially her father.
I think up until I won that night, he always worried. It was proof from people he didn't know, from a world he didn't know, that, you know, his baby girl was going to be all right.
His baby girl was born in 1945. She grew up.
Oh wow. Oh wow. She's like a little older than my parents. Shut. Yeah. She's getting up in age, apparently. Oh my god. She's actually really good. Really good actress. Shut. I didn't realize she was that old. Holy crap. She's almost 80.
Up in Westport, Connecticut, and was always smaller than most.
Everybody either wanted to take care of me or push me around. You know?
Were you teased a lot?
Yes, I was teased a lot. Sure I was. I knew that I was different by the time I was like 10. Everybody was taking their spurts. Except me. I was not growing up.
She was diagnosed with a form of dwarfism. Nothing could make her taller. But when her parents took her to her first Broadway show, Hunt realized the stage just might be a place where she could at least feel taller.
It was a production of Peter Pan.
Absolutely.
And what was it about Peter Pan that really struck you?
That it was bigger than life. And that in some sense I longed to be bigger than life. Because I wasn't.
She compensated.
I don't blame her being that short because of dwarfism. I mean, that's gonna be tough.
With her voice, trying to sound more authoritative than she looked.
When I was 16, nobody else talked like me. Nobody else sounded like me.
There was a confidence in that.
Oh, absolutely.
That made you big.
That made me big.
That voice first found a home on stage, and then the silver screen.
You dare! What do you think we're fighting about?
Strong, independent characters suited Hunt the best. From Gertrude Stein's lover in Waiting for the Moon.
Suppose I keep guessing and you tell me when I get warm. Suppose you try figuring it out instead of picking apart everything I say.
You work here?
I run the place. What can I get you?
To a spark plug of a bartender in the western Silverado.
Are you the Midnight Star herself?
I am. I'm always there, but I only shine at night. Can I help you?
But
it's pretty interesting, some of the roles that she's had over the years. Holy shit.
It was a comedy that introduced Hunt to a whole new generation of fans.
What did it feel like to hit that son of a bitch?
When she played opposite her physical opposite, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It felt great.
In Kindergarten Cop.
What's that like, being opposite Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Oh, for me? Are you kidding? Maybe if I'm lucky, come up to his navel. Bella, come here. Come here.
Seeing her on stage or in person.
Yeah, that had to be daunting, like, playing opposite a guy that's literally like 6 feet tall, that literally towers over. I'd be scared if I were in their shoes.
Person. You soon forget her stature. Just ask Karen Klein, who says Hunt's size was hardly the first thing she noticed.
I was kind of struck. And what were you struck by, honey?
Linda's corduroys.
Her corduroys?
I don't know, something about the corduroys.
Those corduroys were the beginning of a 26-year relationship. They were married in 2008.
Karen's 6 years younger. But I forgive her daily. I wake up in the morning. I do. And I forgive you for being younger.
They are as open about their relationship as Hunt is about her future. NCIS Los Angeles may still be going strong, but she says she doesn't want her role to last forever.
You know, I will retire one of these days, Mr. Callan, and when I do, I don't want to be thinking about you alone.
I look forward to a time when I don't have to work anymore.
Do you?
I do. I really do, which is close at hand.
Miss Linda.
Yeah.
Her current contract will take her into her 70s. Not bad for a woman whose own parents feared might be too small to stand out on stage. But Linda Hunt still has audiences looking up.
What do you think your parents would think now?
They'd be so happy that I'm earning a check every week. A paycheck every week. They would be thrilled.
She's had a pretty good career, to be honest. Alright, I suppose we could watch this shit, and that's basically it.
5 actresses nominated for their work in supporting roles this year are all brilliant, capable, versatile, and deserving.
You know what else they are?
What?
Impatient. They want us to stop talking and get to it, so let's do that for them. In Silkwood.
Glenn Close in The Big Chill.
Linda Hunt in The Year of Living Dangerously.
Amy Irving in Yentl.
Alfre Woodard in Cross Creek. And the winner is Linda Hunt.
Holy shit. She beat out all those other actresses. That is insane.
Oh, this is extraordinary. There was an Indonesian phrase in the film which translates into English as water from the moon, and it means that which is unattainable, the impossible, that which one can never have or know. Making the Year of Living Dangerously for me was water from the moon. I want to thank the members of the Academy so much for honoring me with this recognition and this encouragement at the beginning of my work in film, when I still have so much to learn about such a complex and a powerful medium. And I want to dedicate this to my parents and to Peter Weir with much love, and to everyone I love who is out there watching tonight. Here's the sign. Thank you.
Oh wow. Holy shit. Alright, so yeah. That's it for tonight. I'm tired and I gotta eat dinner soon, so if you like this video, subscribe, and if you want to get updates for new content, push the notification button. This is Phoenix Girl signing off, and I'll see you next time.